What's going on YouTube? Story time with RS. So today we're going to go over a story whilst I was in prison and I met someone. I got to obviously leave names out for the security of my friend, but here we go, we'll jump right into it. So in 2017 I was recalled to jail. It ended up being no charges brought forward, but there was a charge of common assault. So what basically happened is I was walking in my home area, and I was walking up this hill, and I bumped into this guy I met in prison. I knew him from school. So I bumped into him, and what happened was in prison in a previous time, when we could smoke in jail, as this was, so this was before February 2016, I think it was 2014, early 2014. So what happened was, like I say, I knew him from school, so he asked me to borrow a lighter over bang up. Like, after we had lunch, there's a bang up for like you're locked in your cell for say an hour to 2 hours, something like that, before you come back out. Well, he didn't have a lighter, so he asked if he could borrow my lighter. And you know, me being a nice guy and knowing him from school, I thought it wouldn't be a problem. I borrowed him my lighter as I had a cellmate who had a lighter, so we could use. So what happened was, we leave the flap open in prison so you can see what's going on the wing. Well, I heard some stuff going on the wing, so I looked outside the flap, and I seen him up on the top landing, and he was with the officers, and he had his bag with him of all his stuff. So they've come to let us out. So as they've let us out now, I've looked up, I've gone, yo, shouted his name. I've said, what's going on with my lighter? And he's flicked me. He's flicked a bird at me. Couldn't believe it. So he's with officers, so I can't do nothing. So anyway, he's bounced off with my lighter. I know it's not a big deal, but I had to wait to the next canteen to buy another lighter. So anyway, years later now, 2017, I'm walking up this hill and I sees him. He's seen me, and as soon as he seen me, do you know what? I wasn't going to do nothing. Over a lighter, it's not worth it. You know, I know what this kid's about, and it could have got me in trouble if I did do something. So I was going to leave it. Well, as I walked up the hill, he was on the other side of the road. He's crossed over to my side. So I'm looking at the situation now, thinking what's going to happen. I'm not scared of him, but I just don't want to get in trouble. So he's offered me down this lane. He said a few words and stuff. So I walk towards him just to try and sort things out, if anything. And he's managed to find on the floor, I remember it clearly, it was an empty bottle of Ciroc vodka. So he's brandished this bottle of vodka now. He's drew it back. He's like, come on, da, 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 screaming all this stuff. So me being me at the time, a bit young in the mind, I've got my guard up, and I've started to go forward now. I'm going towards him. I'm thinking, I'm not scared of you, and especially, you know, with that bottle, you ain't gonna do nothing. So I've approached him. He's through this bottle now. Poof! I've just gone into Neo mode. Look at that. Whoa! Dodged the bottle. Now I started to give chase. He's took off. I'm giving chase. I'm chasing after him. So he runs down another street, and it comes down. There's two hills either side of each other with streets going like this. So he's running down this hill, I'm running after him. Now I didn't know at the time, but he was living in a bail hostel at the bottom of this street, close to my area. And as I'm chasing him now, I got really close to him. And we come to this road, he just run out into the road. There's cars beeping and that. He's run out into the road. I'm starting to laugh. So he's run across the road. And I'm like, what? So he's run into this house now. And I've turned up at the front of the house, and there is cameras on this house. I didn't know at the time. But anyway, this is what they sort of used. So he's running the house. Do you know what? He's left it. I've left it. I've gone off on my own business. Now, going back to where he was. So what happened was, he's rung the police on me then. Even though nothing really happened, he's rung the police on me. And he was the one, if anything, he threw a bottle at me. So he's rung the police on me. I get picked up a few days later in my bail hostel. And there one night with a girlfriend. Gets picked up. So they brings me in. They says I'm wanted for common assault. I'm thinking I haven't touched him. Anyway, because I'm on license now, I've gone to the police station. They've taken me to court. They've remanded me. They recalled me on my license, even though I haven't been charged with nothing. So I ended up in Cardiff jail. And when I goes back into jail, then I was just on the normal wings, induction wing, whatsoever, and I ends up going on to a different wing and getting tubed up with one of my friends. So while I was with one of my friends, you know, you have all this jail solicitors, everyone thinks they know everything, telling me, no, you're going to be fine. Some of them saying, no, you're getting recalled, this, that, whatever. So I just thought, yo, my life is with God. What's meant to be will be. So I ends up getting this big thick thing of paper through my door. I opens it. It said, what did it say now? It said, right, I can't remember the type of recall it was. You got like fixed term recall and another one. Well, anyway, I ended up getting full recall, and I had like 17 months left on my sentence. So I goes on to this next wing now. I gets moved on to another wing, and as I'm on this wing, I comes across this boy, this young Polish lad, and I always remember he done it himself. He tattooed a bullet down his finger. He done it himself. But anyway, me and him got speaking. We used to play table tennis back then. He could never beat me. But anyway, yeah, we used to play table tennis. And you know, when we was jamming on the wing, we was chatting. We got friendly. Well, I was in with a few people, you know. I was with one mate. I hadn't seen him since he was a kid, and yeah, that was it. He ended up getting out, and my Polish friend, he was in another cell. Well, we worked it out. He was going to come over to my cell, and he come over to my cell, and this is where I found out a lot more about him. I had heard on the wing that he was being charged with a murder, but I hadn't actually spoken to him properly about his charges or anything. I just heard the rumours on the wing, such and so forth. So he came into the cell with me, so I thought, right then, we'll have a good chat, let's see what's in. You know, you can read their depths, you can see what's going on. So what's happened is, he's come in that night, and we got to, you know, we sorted out the cell, got it looking how we wanted to look. He brought all this stuff over, we laid it out. I used to cook curries every night in the kettle. So we done some food. We sat down to chill out, and like most nights, when you first have a few cellmates, you might put a film on or whatever, but you're not actually watching it. The first night is, especially if you don't know it. Maybe if it's your friend, it's a bit different. But if you don't know him, your first night is always you finding out about him, getting to know him, stuff like that. So we're chatting and that, and then we get onto the subject about his case. So what happened was, and I can remember it clearly, I actually read the depths myself. So what I'm saying is bang on, and I actually seen pictures and everything. So what happened was, he was in this area in Wales. I'll withhold the area just to protect him. He might not want me to speak his case, but so anyway, he was in an area in Wales, and he got friendly with some Welsh guy from that area. He was an older gentleman, middle-aged man. So what happened is, them two was selling amphetamine for some other Polish guy who was from London. Obviously Poland, but living in London, and used to make trips back and forth, reloading them on amphetamine. Well, this Polish guy, he was working with my Polish friend. He was working with this middle-aged Welsh guy, offloading the amphetamine, and what was happening is they was coming up short, and it was revealed that the Welsh middle-aged guy was injecting amphetamine. So obviously he was getting high on his own supply, taking more, and they was losing out on cash. So the cash wasn't right. When the big man was coming down, the cash wasn't right. So this guy's come down to kick off. He's like, yo, da 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 da. So the middle-aged man had Adrian over the house. He's like, you know, business chat, come on, let's go. So they're at the house. Now this Polish guy who was supplying them's come down. They've had an argument, and I don't know if the middle-aged guy, the middle-aged Welsh guy, blamed the young Polish boy, or the guy just thought it was him. But he got blamed initially for taking more amphetamine or stealing some money from there, something like that, right? So while he was in the house, this guy from London, the Polish guy from London who comes back and forth, had a baseball bat, and he's giving him licked him on his head, split his head open. So he's left the house anyway. He's got off. I think he might have been with his girlfriend at the time, but they've got off anyway. He's got off, and obviously the Polish guy and this Welsh guy has had a chat. Well, anyway, he's gone back to London and it's business as usual. Well, my friend, the young Polish guy now, has got bad feelings towards this guy. He's hit him with a bat, and he actually wasn't the one that was fucking up. So he, you know, I think they carried on selling. Yeah, they did. They carried on business and that, but stuff was still going missing. So this guy from London, the Polish guy from London, wasn't happy, and my friend, the Polish guy, was chatting to that Welsh guy who was selling with him one night over the phone, and he texted him and saying, "The fucking prick, hit me with a bat, blah blah blah. I want him dead. Fucking, I'll kill him, the bastard." You know, as people say, sometimes when you're pissed off, "I'll fucking kill him." He said it like that, in that sort of tone, and in that sort of context. Well, anyway, this major's come down. This guy has come down again, and he's come down to sort business out. I think again because it was an under. They wasn't bringing back what they should have. Well, my Polish friend wasn't there at the time that he come down. It was just this Welsh guy, and what's happened is, this Polish guy, the main ones who was come from London, walked in the house, and as he's gone past the Welsh guy, had his back to him, the Welsh guy had an axe on him. He's giving him just licked him in the head. Boom, split his wig. Blood gone everywhere, yeah. And this guy's died from this. So we're to get sneaky, yeah. What he's done is now this guy, he's texted my friend and said, "Yo, come to the house." And he's like, "Oh, blah blah blah, whatever." So my mate, anyway, they must have had a little chat like that. He's convinced him to come to the house. So my mate's gone to the house. He's gone in the house now, and my man's moved the body from the where he first hit him into the kitchen. But my mate's seen the blood. He's gone, "What's going on?" The guy said, "You know what you said about him? You wanted him dead? Well, he's done." So my mate's now, he's like, What the fuck have you done?" He's fucking shitting himself, right? So, but while my mate was on his way to the house, when he didn't know what this was happening, he's told his girlfriend to come to the house, to meet him there. So she was on her way there anyway, and she's come shortly after. Well, she's come to the house now, seen all the blood and that too, right? He's keeping her there. They're keeping her in the front room, saying, the guy's in the kitchen. He's took my friend into the kitchen and said, listen, she's seen too much. She gotta go too. My mate's like, nah. You ain't doing that to her. No way. Well, what's happened is, the guy is otherwise given an ultimatum. He said, right, you're gonna help me get rid of the body. Otherwise, I'll do you. So my mate had no choice, otherwise he's getting smashed up with a bloody axe just like my man. He's already done it. He's probably injected amphetamine, gone cuckoo, or paranoid. That's why he's killed the first guy, and he's ready to kill again. He's just off his nut. So the girl was still there too, right? So they sent the girl back and said, don't say nothing. So the girl's left. And what they've done, their big plan was to get rid of his body. They've gone out the back garden, right? And they put him on like a bed frame, yeah? And then covered him with bin bags. And they had a fan blowing on the fire that they lit. They was going to try and cremate him. They thought they could perform a cremation and blow his ashes away. But what's happened is, they got this fan blowing on him and they're burning him. They're burning the body in the back garden. Not the best of ideas. But anyway, my friend in jail told me they burnt him for about, and they said in the statement too, they burnt him for like 12 hours. And my friend told me, right, he was pissing on him and stuff like that, little bastard. But anyway, when they checked him after the fire's gone out and he'd been burning for 12 hours, they said all that happened to him is his skin went charred. They just cooked a little bit of his skin. His body was fully intact. And then they realised to themselves, shit, this is going to take a lot more burning than this. Bodies don't burn that easy. It's got to be a super high temperature. So the neighbours anyway have seen what's going on and thought suspicious. So they've rung the police. The police have come and boom, licked off the door, found everything that's gone on, obviously arrested him. And I can remember that's the story there. But I remember being in the cell with mate, and he was on trial at the time. And because he was like sort of made to do it, and he was sticking with that story, they'd gone against each other in court, see. So he was trying to stick with that story, and I can remember him always saying like he's going to get off of it, he's going to be out soon, stuff like that, right? So anyway, it comes to the day of the trial, and he'd been on trial, going to the court every day in the morning and coming back later on in the evening. So today, the last day of the trial, he's gone like that to me, yes brother, everything there's you, I'll be getting out, right? So he's gone to the court. Now I'm on the wing waiting. I had no clue what was going to happen, you know, I'm not a juror, I didn't really know exactly what's going on in the case, I wasn't there. This is just from what I read and what he told me. The story. So that day then, he's come back. I've just seen his face walk back onto the wing when it was social, right at the, like late social, after food, about 6 o'clock to 5:30. So he's come back on the wing. I've seen his face, yeah, and I knew just from his face he was not happy. He was not going nowhere. So he's come up to me. I said, "What's happened, bro?" He's like, "They gave me 15 years. I was like, what? So he had 15 years, and they done him for the murder as well. They didn't like let him off and say like he only done this, or you know, he was made to do stuff. They just hit him with the murder. 15 years before he can have parole. Absolutely insane. And yeah, I seen him. I went back to jail after that, and he'd moved from Cardiff to another jail, and I went to that jail too, and I caught back up with him, and that was in like 2021 and 2022, the last times I was in prison. So yeah, that's my first story, and I got a lot more, not just jail stories, I got a lot more stories I'll be sharing with you guys. Anyway, that's your boy RS.